Hello, people of the world, people of Earth, people in... Well, maybe you're not people. I was gonna say people in, like, other planets, but maybe you don't consider yourself people. I know you don't consider yourselves aliens. I know we're probably the aliens, but... Anyways, welcome back to another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs. I'm your host, Natalia, and this is a podcast where we talk about self-realization, self-improvement, esoteric knowledge, spirituality, thoughts on God, conspiracy theories, news that happens to be really weird or trending, and we gotta put some kind of perception towards it. You know, cool stuff like that, guys. Come on, you know what this is about already. You know what it's about already, but for those who don't know what it's about, well, welcome. We will gladly accept you. You must be wondering why I am, playing such traditional, in-the-mood Chinese music. Well, that is because it is Chinese New Year today. It is February 12th, 2021, the year of the ox. And yes, it is Chinese New Year. I won't be doing anything today because I work, which I'm upset about. Well, I can't be upset about that I work. I'm grateful I have a job. We gotta be grateful for the blessings, guys. I'm grateful that I got the money rolling in. But, no, I would like to go to Chinatown today. I live in LA. I highly doubt they're doing anything because of COVID, but I'm sure they're, you know, trying to sell their stuff out there and kind of do something, so I would love to be there. But I will not. I will be there tomorrow to see if they are doing anything. And if not, I'll be there anyways. But yeah, so wherever you are, I hope there might be a little celebration if you're interested in doing something like that. If not, there are plenty of virtual options that I do not know of, but I heard that there are, so check those out. But yes, it is Chinese New Year. It is a time to, you know, get rid of the old. A lot of people are, you know, cleaning their houses, you know, selling stuff, getting rid of, you know, the old year, things that we no longer need, and ringing in the new year. But, yeah, hold on. My computer is about to, like, update or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, okay. So, yeah, it is Chinese New Year, so I'll be playing this lovely... Do you like this one? Do you like this one? I think it's okay. But we will also be touching on Buddhism today, which is, and I have so much knowledge for you guys today, like I have so much stuff to talk about today, so we won't be doing a card reading. I'm sorry, I wish I had a aww button, like a sad button, which I will soon. That's a good idea, I just thought of that idea right now. But yeah, we won't be doing a card reading this week, and I still haven't even done the February card reading, because I haven't. I apologize, okay? Maybe I'll do it today. We'll see. And if not, we'll see next month, you know, we'll do a March one, but I'll try to get I have to get it out soon, you know, it's already almost the middle of the month. It actually is the middle of the month because, well, February ends on the 28th, so we're basically halfway in. I didn't even do a New Year card reading. Did I? I don't know what last month's was. Was that a New Year? I don't know. But anyways, how are you guys? How are you? Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to ask. How are you doing? Answer me right now, like out loud. How are you? Oh my gosh, that is so good to hear. I'm so glad to hear that you are okay. And if your answer was not okay, then I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you perceive things like that, because no matter how bad it is, this is inspiration music in the background, no matter how bad things get and how bad things feel, it is always okay. It is always okay because we are the ones who put the perception of it being bad onto it. It's not like this thing arose and it's like, I am a bad thing. Like, it's us saying, oh, this is bad. This is not something that I would enjoy. This is not something that I considerably like, or enjoy, you know, you just don't like it. And I mean, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that somebody else may not like it. So does that make it good or bad? To that person it's good, but to you it's bad. So rethink how you are approaching life. Do you feel like your day has been bad? Has all this crappy stuff happened to you today and you're just like, oh my god, I'm having a bad day. Well, be grateful. Find something to be grateful about. Whether everything's going to crap, what is one thing you could be grateful about? You have a house. You have a roof over your head. So many people do not have a roof over their head. And it's freaking winter where I am. Well, basically, it gets cold, and they're freezing out there. It's sad. Some people don't have anything to eat some days. Some people survive on bread alone in other countries, or not even. Like, people have to go and donate food to people's houses. Like, we are so lucky that we get to go to a supermarket and purchase something, or that we have, like, government assistance if we're too broke to, you know, purchase something. You know, they give us food stamps or, you know, money that we can purchase food. We should be lucky that we even have these opportunities, right? So, I don't know, there's just some things that you could always play devil's advocate and be like, yeah, but this and that and that. Of course, you can do that with everything. But we should at least be trying to find some kind of, something to be grateful for in these times. But yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys are well. Are you drinking water? Are you drinking good water? Are you keeping your water in glass or something that's not plastic? And if it is plastic, is it BPA free? Do you even know what BPA free means? Well, we deciphered the BPA in last week's episode of Sangha, so check out the beginning realms of that episode to find out what BPA means, or you could just look it up on your phone. Are you eating yummy, dark, leafy greens? Do you even like greens? If you don't like greens, are you getting, like, some kind of supplements for that? Or are you putting, like, the green powder in your smoothies? Or what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you getting that greens in you? Those veggies, those dark greens, the darker the green, the I don't know, healthier the, I don't know, green. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even started that, I couldn't even finish. Anyways, okay, so we got water, we got greens and veggies. Do you manage your stress and feelings well? Are you taking a break? Are you learning to relax? Are you doing the things that you enjoy? Are you going outside and basking in the sun and grounding yourself and running barefoot in the grass and hiking mountains and, oh, I don't know what you enjoy, but whatever you do, riding bike, skateboard, whatever, are you doing what you love? Are you doing what you love? And if not, how can you fit that into your daily schedule or weekly schedule at least? Do you have nice friends? Are they giving you a well-rounded support system? Do you have somebody you can talk to? If you don't have somebody you can talk to, you can talk to me. I am open 24/7, not 365. No, I'm not. Actually, I sleep sometimes, and I'm actually a pretty busy person. Well, at least I try not to be, but, you know, things are the way they are. But I am always open. My inbox is always open, at Natalia of Earth on Instagram, and now on Twitter. It's like a commercial. Speaking of commercials, an ad from our sponsors. Okay, welcome back, guys. So, I hope you guys are well. I'm glad that you are well if you are well, and if you're not well, get well. Get well, and get well soon. In today's episode, wow, you know what? You know what I did? I didn't even, you know, we got the message from our sponsors, and we didn't even play the theme song. It's 10:32. We're all aligned here. Come on, baby. Welcome back to another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs.
ThirdEyeCyphs. ThirdEyeCyphs.
Okay, that is right. We're back. And you know what? You know what today we're gonna be talking about? We're long due for it, and it is... Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. See, look at me. I'm jumping into the episode because I'm just so excited about all of the information I have for you. First, I got a quick information, how do you say? Quick blurb about today's lovely holiday. since we are diving into Buddhism. But, you know, before we even do that, before we even get into the Buddhism, today is Chinese New Year. Yes, it is always done on the second new moon of the new year. Generally lasts 15 days. It's like a 15-day celebration. A lot of people go back to their homes in China to celebrate with lots of food. Dumplings are number one thing a lot of people eat, as well as long noodles. And if you cut the noodles, you have to, like, eat the whole noodle. Like, really long noodles, and then you have to eat the whole noodle, and if you cut it short, then it's bad luck. Like, you're cutting your life short, because those long noodles are supposed to represent your long, prosperous, healthy life. So eat some noodles today, guys, or go out for some Chinese food, and, you know, eat some dumplings. Eat some dumplings and long noodles. A lot of people give money envelopes. I used to get money envelopes all the time when I was younger. Me and my parents, we would always go to the Chinese New Year in New York, because I'm originally from New York, and I always loved it. It was always so cool. Like, the festival there is so cool. The parade, or whatever you call it. They would do so many things. I went to this flower thing. I don't know what it was. It was like a tent, and they were selling tons of different flowers and plants, and this was all for, like, Chinese New Year. It's so cool, guys. It's so cool. If you haven't been to the New York Chinese New Year, I don't know how it is now, because I haven't been since I was younger. Like, maybe, like, 7 or 8. I think maybe the last time I might have been a little older, but yeah, that was really it. But you get, like, these confetti firecracker things. Like, it's not even firecracker. You just pop it, and then confetti just, like lots of confetti just flies out. There's confetti everywhere. A bunch of, like, cool creature outfit costume things. But, so, the story of this, this holiday. Well, this is, I don't know if there's multiple stories, but this is a story I read. It's a story of this creature. I don't know his name. I didn't write it down, honestly. But it's this creature who would come to, like, this town in China, this village, and he would come every new moon. And he would, like, scare the hell out of the people and, like, destroy the place. And then one time, this wise man came and said, "Ooh, look, this is how you scare off, like, the creature. He hates fire, and he hates loud noises." So then all the people came out, like, the next new moon when the creature would come, and they would bang on, like, drums, and they would have, like, torches, and they would wave the fire and make loud noises and play, like, loud music or whatever, and it scared off the creature. So I guess it's a celebration of that. The not fairy tale, but long tale? I don't think that's a word. And then also, as you may know, every year is a different animal of the Chinese zodiac, and that was made by some emperor. Some emperor decided that he was like, you know what? Let's make every year a year on the Chinese zodiac, and everybody's like, yeah, that sounds good. But that was it. End of blurb. End of quotations. So, happy Chinese New Year to anybody who celebrates it and everybody who doesn't celebrate it. I wish you a prosperous New Year, as well as every other year. So, now getting into this episode, we are talking about Buddhism today. I mention it, I feel like I mention it often, but not as much, or not in a lot of detail. So, in previous episodes, you can hear me mention the 3 jewels a lot, or the 4 noble truths, but that's pretty much all I really talk about. Now, we will be going into that, diving deeper into that, but I can't with this music. I don't know. That one, it just wasn't good. I'm not saying I don't like, you know, Chinese music. I'm just saying I couldn't with that one. I don't know what that was. Let's do this one. It's more relaxing. Get some Reiki music in here, even though that's Japanese, but okay. So, Buddhism. First, you know, I have this whole entire lesson planned out for you guys, and I first want to say that Buddhism originally stemmed from Hinduism. So this is something that is said often, that Buddhism is just like, it branched off of Hinduism. So then, like, Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who is known to be the Buddha. Or is it Gouda? I don't think it's Gautama. I think it's Gautama. Gautama. He was Indian. So it says Buddhism originated in ancient India. And then Siddhartha Gautama was an Indian prince. So and probably like a lot of what he learned was from Hinduism or yogis, because when he left, okay, if you guys don't know the story, I'm not gonna say in a full detail. This is not part of the lesson plan, guys. Okay, like I have a full lesson plan. So Buddha, he was a prince, and yeah, he was a prince and super rich, got everything he wanted, and this wise man came to the king, the prince's dad, Siddhartha Gautama's dad, and was like, your son is gonna be, you know, a very good ruler, very good prince, or once he leaves the castle, he will become the greatest spiritual leader of the world. And the king was like, there is no money coming out of that spiritual leaderism or whatever, so he's not gonna be a spiritual leader. I will keep him in the castle, so that he doesn't be, and he could be a good prince, you know, he could be all wealthy and, you know, carry on the lineage. And then one day, when he got older, you know, he's been in the castle for years, or the kingdom, like, locked up in there, not seeing anything, like, getting everything that he wants. And then, I don't know what happened. One time I think he just wanted to go out to the village, and then he helped, like, one of his friends, he had one of his friends help him escape. And then they go to the village, and he saw somebody really sick, and I don't think he's ever seen sickness, so he was like, what? He asked somebody, he's like, what's wrong with that person? And they're like, oh, well, he's really sick, and soon all of us will be sick, and we'll all die, like, basically. And then he's like, what? That doesn't make any sense, like, what? He was having, like, cognitive dissonance, because, you know, what he's been told and shown his whole life is not, you know, matching up with what he's seeing or hearing or understanding. So he leaves. He's just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So he goes back to the castle and be like, what is this blasphemy? And he passes by this monk who has been on a spiritual journey to awareness and unity. And he seems so content and happy, and he's smiling, and this guy's, and Siddhartha Gautama, he's looking at this guy, and he's like, man, how can this guy be so happy when there's so much suffering in the world? Like, you're gonna die. Everything you love, it's gonna leave, or it's not gonna last forever, and we're all gonna die someday or get sick. How could this guy be so happy? And that's what he decided to do. He's like, I want to be like this guy. So he left the kingdom, and he was like, I'm leaving. I'm gonna see what this guy is all about. And he went on a spiritual quest, his pilgrimage. And I think he studied for like 40 years or 60 or something like that. I don't know. Oh no, it was like 16 days, I think. I don't know. Something like that. You could look up the story, guys. I don't know this from the top of my head, nor did I write it down. But he did. Oh, so okay, this is what happened, right? So he went and he trained with like these monks, or like these super strict monks, not strict monks, but like they completely renounced everything, like all of their material possessions, everything. Like they become full renounced monks, and they don't own anything, and that was their way to enlightenment. And then what the Buddha had came to terms with himself was the middle path, or the middle way, which is finding a balance between that renunciation and materialism. Because it's like, we don't all have to be renounced monks to attain this type of, awareness or enlightenment, but you won't find it in complete materialism and, gratification in the senses. So he created the middle path, the middle way of balancing those two. And then he meditated under the Bodhi tree for, I think that's what the 60 or 40 days was, or 16 days, something like that. And then he attained enlightenment. And then he gave his first lecture, and it spread everywhere. Now, with that being said, Buddhism spread everywhere. So there are so many different sects. There's so many different types of Buddhism that branched off from this. So many different teachings, so many different teachings that adapted from other teachings like Hinduism or esoteric religions or spiritualities that kind of integrate them. So yeah, it went from India, it went to China, we all know, Japan, Korea, Thailand, just most of all of Southeast Asia, and eventually to the West. So we will be talking a little bit about the main types, the main small types. No, not the main small types, but a small amount of the main types, I guess you could say, or what I would say. So we will be talking about first the 3 yanas, or vehicles. Now, when I looked into this, so the only 2 that I knew of prior to, doing my research for this episode was Mahayana and Theravada. And then I learned about Hinayana, and then, of course, I know about Vajrayana, which is Tibetan Buddhism. So first going into the 3 yanas, this is Mahayana Theravada, and wait, are the 3 are the 3 yanas the Vajrayana? Hold on, let's see. 3 yanas. Yeah. Okay, it is Vajrayana. Chotto matte kudasai. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so backtrack on that. Let's completely ignore the 3 yanas, okay? First, we're going to talk about this Mahayana, Theravada, and Hinayana. Now, I had no idea what Hinayana was before I did any of this. So first, we'll talk about Mahayana, which is I feel like the most popular sect of Hinduism. I mean, Hinduism, oh my gosh, of Buddhism, because so many branches that is known to the West stems from Mahayana. So Mahayana is, another way of saying it, is the great vehicle. And they actually kind of focus on idol worship. So they see, like, the Buddha as a god, or see his teachings as eternal. That he was, like, this guy who came down from the heavens to, share this knowledge, and, he'll continue to do so. Now, this actually kind of goes hand in hand, not hand in hand, but it would kind of confirm the interconnectedness of Hinduism and Buddhism. So in Hinduism, it is said that the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu is actually Siddhartha Gautama, or the Buddha. Let's see, avatars of Vishnu. I believe it is the 9th because Krishna is the 8th. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, so the 7th incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Rama, 8th is Krishna, and 9th is the Buddha. And then 10th is Kalki. Just so you know. Okay, so this would kind of make sense with Mahayana because, well, Lord Vishnu is a god, and his incarnation was the Buddha. So this, it seems a bit familiar. Mahayana believes in mantras. Its main principles were based on the possibility of universal liberation from suffering for all beings. That's why it's called the Great Vehicle. So they're the main kind of goal, because when Buddhism first spread, it spread into 2 main types. And Mahayana, that that one kind of wanted to make enlightenment accessible to everybody. It's saying like, oh yeah, everybody could do this. You don't have to, you know, do certain strict things such as, you know, renunciation and all of that, complete renunciation, to attain this liberation. So Mahayana's goal was for it to be universal liberation, for everybody. Some subsects of Mahayana would be Zen Buddhism, which is one of the main sects that my first introduction to Buddhism and my main interest, my main sect practice, I don't know, however you say it, of Buddhism. Another one is Nichiren Buddhism, which I actually have a friend who is part of Nichiren Buddhism. I had no idea this even existed until I met her, because she told me she was Buddhist, but I didn't know about Nichiren. And Nichiren is kind of like, it's like I want to say like a people's Buddhism. And, you know, she had no idea about what the Four Noble Truths were or the Eightfold Path. So that's not really a focus in Nichiren. They are based off of teachings of a Buddhist priest, I think in the 13th century, of Japan, I believe. And that priest's name was Nichiren. Another subsect would be Jingtu, or Pure Land, Guanyin, a lot of different Japanese subsects, including Shugendo, which is a mix between Shintoism, or Shinto, Taoism, and Omyodo, which is a system or natural science, or astronomy, almanac, and magic based on the Chinese philosophy of yin and yang. So see how there's so many kind of connectedness. There's so many different subsects of Buddhism, especially Mahayana, different kind of subsects. Okay, and then there is Theravada. Theravada is the teaching of the elders. And then we have Hinayana, which is the small or lesser vehicle. And this one follows original teachings, and they believe that Buddha was just a regular guy who spread the wisdom to attain nirvana. So I'm going to read to you a small little clipping I found online about Mahayana, Hinayana, and Theravada compared. So Mahayana, as you know, as I mentioned, means great vehicle. Hinayana means small vehicle or lesser vehicle. Theravada means teaching of the elders. Now, Mahayana and Hinayana began not as separate schools, but as alternative intentions and goals, which were a matter of personal choice. So basically, it's just different ways, different paths that you can take, and whichever one you prefer, then that's that one. The adherents of each lived and practiced together. It took many centuries for those differences to coalesce into different schools, which eventually spread into different geographic areas. The Theravada school of Buddhism, which is found in Sri Lanka and most of Southeast Asia, should not be called Hinayana, because Hinayana originally referred to the commitment of individuals, not to a school of Buddhism. Later, it became incorrectly used as an inappropriate or pejorative term for the Theravada. Theravada is sometimes referred to as Southern Buddhism, while Mahayana is called Northern Buddhism because it can be found in China, Korea, Japan, and Tibet. Now, I will talk about Vajrayana, which is the Tibetan, or it's called the Diamond School, or the Diamond Way, which is Tibetan Buddhism. And it was originally exclusive to Tibet. This is also known as Tantra Buddhism, or Tantric Buddhism. Vajrayana, along with Mantrayana, Guhya Mantrayana, Tantrayana, Tantric Buddhism, and Esoteric Buddhism are names referred to Buddhist traditions associated with Tantra and secret mantra, which developed in medieval India and spread to Tibet. Vajrayana, the Diamond School, originally exclusive to Tibet. In 20th century CE, the Chinese occupation of Tibet forced it out of the country, boo, emphasizes the permanence of the Buddha's teachings as symbolized by the Vajra, or thunderbolt, a ritual implement used for ceremonies, employs Tantra techniques to reach enlightenment quickly, and focuses mainly on lay practitioners. So, Vajrayana is very... very esoteric, I would feel, compared to, you know, just like simple thoughts. No, how do I say simple thoughts? Like the basis of like what you learn about Buddhism, like, oh, you should do this or you should do that, like stuff like that. I feel like it goes way deeper than that. That's why it's, you know, kind of tantra, and there are mantras involved. So it goes deeper, more into that spiritual sense, I feel. So the Mahayana uses Sanskrit as its main language, and monistic and lay followers work for the liberation of all sentient beings, making compassion and insight its central doctrines. And then Theravada is the only remaining school from the early Buddhist period. Its central texts are in Pali, the spoken language of the Buddha, and its exclusively monistic devotees strive to become enlightened for their own liberation. Wow, how selfish, guys. No, I'm joking. So yeah, that was just a quick kind of information upload. But anyway, so when I was saying about the three yanas are the Mahayana, Theravada, and Vajrayana. That's what I'm confused. You could do more if you're very interested. You could do more research into this. I was trying to figure out like why are there three yanas? But then what happened to Hinayana? Like, why isn't that included? And then I also heard that Vajrayana is a subsect of Mahayana. I don't know, guys. See, like if you're very interested, you can look at it. It's so in depth. That's what it is. Like, preparing for this, it was just like, what do I say? What do I say, like, that can get the most, you know, information out, but, you know, not dive so deeply into it? Because it's like, as you keep going, you just keep getting, like, pulled in. Like, super pulled in. Yeah, it's just... It's intense. Like it's like Hinduism. Like it stems from Hinduism, but Buddhism itself is just so like an octopus with like infinite arms or something. It just like everything just keeps branching out until like it's so many different things. It's insane. It's insane. But anyway, so those were I guess you could say the main four. I've never heard of Hinayana, but. So then, okay, so when I looked up Hinayana, it said that it was a synonym for Theravada. And then that's what I read to you that said, it's, how do you say? Like, untrue? Like, it's not true. Like, it's usually confused, to be, you know, synonyms for each other, but they're not. So yeah, that was a bit about those. So now we will be talking about going into the tea teachings. Firstly, the 3 jewels. Now, I've mentioned these times before. I mentioned one of them, and there was a complete episode, last week's episode, Sangha, was the whole episode was made about one of these 3 jewels. So, the 3 jewels. What are they? They are, and this is something that the Mahayana and Theravada, both schools agree on, that there are these 3 jewels. Now, Mahayana, I think they have a 4th scripture or jewel or something. I don't know what it is, but I heard that they do have like a 4th one or something that Theravada doesn't acknowledge. So, the 3 jewels is the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha is the teacher, the one speaking this. The Dharma is the teachings, the things that are being spoken by the Buddha. And the Sangha, the community, the people who are being taught by the Buddha. People being taught the Dharma by the Buddha. So those are the 3 jewels. And they're equally acknowledged as, you know, one and the same. They are one and the same. So the Sangha is the same as the Buddha, is the same as the teachings. Now, going into the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. This was the first thing. It took me a while to learn the Eightfold Path. To memorize it. But the Four Noble Truths was something that I used to flaunt around when I was young, when I first got on my Buddhist path. I was a sophomore in high school. And, 15. I was 15, guys. 15, saying I'm a Buddha, and every time something would happen to someone that was undesirable or like people would get upset about something, I would always say dukkha, dukkha. I would always say that. Now, what is dukkha? Dukkha is the first of the Four Noble Truths. Dukkha means suffering exists. Suffering is inevitable in this lovely life that we call samsara, the illusion, or these endless cycles of suffering, birth, and death, and rebirth. So that's what it is, dukkha. Suffering exists. Suffering is a thing. The sek is samudaya, which is of this dukkha rises with tanha. Tanha, which is craving, desire, attachment. So the reason, the origin of this suffering, this dukkha, is tanha, craving, desire, attachment. Moving on to the third, we have nirodha, which is cessation of this dukkha, can be attained by letting go or renouncing tanha. So the end of this suffering, this dukkha, is attained through tanha, or this craving or attachment, desire. So basically, you will escape suffering if you just let go of the things that make you suffer. And then lastly, magha. Magha is the Eightfold Path, is the way to renunciation of tanha and ending dukkha. So basically, like, this is the way. So there is 1, suffering exists. 2, the reason for suffering is attachment. 3, if you let go of attachment, then you will, escape suffering. And then 4th, the way of doing this, of letting go of attachment and ending suffering, is the Eightfold Path. Now, this opens the curtain to the lovely dun-dun-dun Eightfold Path. I kind of talked a bit about it the second episode ever of this entire podcast, and it's called The Yoga Types, or I kind of talked a bit about it the second episode ever of this entire podcast, and it's called The Yoga Types, or The Yoga Types, or The Main Yoga Types, 4 Main Yoga Types or something. And then I don't think I named the yamas and the niyamas, but I didn't go into it because I was going through like the 4 main types of yoga. But this does really remind me of that. So it could be, an adaptation of that, since Buddhism does kind of stem from Hinduism. So, the Eightfold Path. Now, this is a way of basically attaining enlightenment. This is how you... And it can be kind of broken down into three little sections. There's ethical conduct, mental discipline, and then wisdom. Now, this definitely reminds me of the yamas and niyamas, because yamas and niyamas are kind of, divided like that, where, okay, this is the ethical, and then this is the way you treat yourself, this is the way you treat others. So we'll start off with wisdom. So the first of this Eightfold Path is right view, or right understanding. Samadhi. This is right view. This is the understanding that suffering exists. This is right view, right understanding. Understanding that suffering exists. Understand the cause of suffering. Understanding the end of suffering. Understand the path that leads to the end of suffering. So this is basically, right view or right understanding is basically the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. You understand that suffering exists. You understand that the reason for suffering is attachment. You know that there is an end to suffering, and that end to suffering is the Eightfold Path. So this is right view or right understanding. The second is right thought. Sama sankappa. This is right thoughts. Have right thoughts. This is thoughts free from sensuous desires. Thoughts free from anger. Free from ill will. Free from hatred or cruelty. Going into the ethical conduct is right speech. Samavaka. Right speech is speech free from lying, free from slander, free from harshness, free from gossip. The next would be right action. Number 4, right action. Sama kamanta. Sama kamanta. Action free from harming or destroying life. This is action free from stealing or taking what's not yours. and action free from sexual misconduct, as always. That's also something that's in the yamas and niyamas. A lot of spiritual teachings or guidelines do mention to not engage in sexual misconduct. Okay, so number 5 would be right livelihood. Right livelihood, sama ajiva. This is free from trading arms and weapons. Free from trading living beings, or, sex slavery. Buddha was really big on that. It must have been like a big problem. I mean, it's a big problem now, but, he saw it as a big problem, so he made this a part of, one of the eightfold path truths, which is right livelihood. So do not, your life should be free from trading arms and weapons, trading living beings, trading meat and animals. This is slaughterhouses, guys, okay? This is people raising animals and then selling them to slaughterhouses. That's trading meat or animals, which we engage in all the time if we eat meat. Trading intoxicants. This is like drugs. And yeah, probably just drugs, or anything, drugs and alcohol. Trading poisons and harmful chemicals. So this is just poisons, harmful chemicals, nukes, but also that's a weapon. Yeah, anything harmful, guys, just be free from that. So then going into wisdom, number 6 would be right effort, sama vayama. This is effort to discard evil that has arisen. So if there's evil that, arises, you gotta be a superhero and put the effort in to discard of that evil. The next would be effort to prevent unarisen evil. So even if it hasn't arisen yet, but you kind of have a feeling it's gonna arise, or you kind of know it's arisen, you gotta put in the effort to prevent that. Then the next would be the effort to develop unarisen good. So maybe that good isn't there, but you gotta put in the effort to make it arise. Then the effort to promote good that has already arisen. So that good has arisen. It's your time to, put in the effort that is already here. 7 would be right mindfulness, sama sati. Constant mindfulness with regard to the body. This is kaya. Regard to feelings or sensations. This is Vedana. Regard to activities of mind and thought. This is Chitta. And then regard to the Dhamma, which is ideas, thoughts, conceptions, and things. So putting in the awareness, being aware of your body. This is constant mindfulness with body. This is constant mindfulness with regard to the body, being aware of your body, everything that you do. This is being here now. This is regard to the feelings that arise in you, regard to the stuff that goes in our mind, all the blah, 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 blah. This is called chitta, the non-stop chatter in your mind, chitta. And then regard to the Dhamma. These are ideas, thoughts, conceptions, things that just arise, our judgments or how certain things. Be aware of that as well. And then finally, 8, we have right concentration. This is sama samadhi. Now, this is basically the end result. This is after you do all of these things. And this is why it also reminds me of the yamas and niyamas, because the last of the yamas and niyamas is samadhi, which is enlightenment, nirvana. And yeah, so right concentration, sama samadhi, is single-mindedness, that single-pointed awareness, just concentration on that one thing. And, to reach this is the use of right effort, to keep the mind focused on a single object. Using right mindfulness to be aware of the distractions and aids to concentration, and then putting in the effort to eliminate them. And then it's also mentioned in right concentration, developing the states of jhanas in the mind. Now, jhanas I'm not going to go into, because that in itself is also a deeper thing, deeper topic. But jhanas, Jhanas, if you're interested in looking into them. But yeah, so those are the eightfold, that's the eightfold path, guys. So I'll go down them again real quick. We have right view and right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and then finally, right concentration. This is also known as meditation, right concentration. So yeah, those were, that was just an intro to Buddhism, guys. Now if you'd like, I can go deeper into very, like, little like, if you want, I could do a whole episode on the jhanas, or I could do an episode on, like, each one alone, maybe? And then, yeah, or, like, a certain subsect that you guys might be interested in me talking about, we can go a little deeper into. But yeah, there's so much. And it's so crazy because, like, I went through all this stuff, right? And I have, like, all this here. And then I didn't even, like, I thought it was gonna be way longer. I thought this whole episode was gonna be way longer, so that's why I didn't do the card reading. But look at us. What is this, 46 minutes in? We're okay. We're doing okay, guys. And look, it's 11:11, and the last time I checked the clock, it was 1. So we are in tune, guys. Welcome. This is ThirdEyeCyphs! Where we are always in tune. God is just always here listening to us, and he's just, you know, helping us spread the wisdom of the Buddha. So that was pretty much it, guys. That was the intro to Buddhism. Happy Chinese New Year. Buddhism did not come from China, but it did become a very major spirituality or religion in China before the Communist Party took over and destroyed all of the temples of Buddhism and all of that, sadly. But, you know, we can't blame it on the people now. I mean, I'm sure there's, like, a lot of, like, ignorant people now. Completely agree with the Chinese Communist Party, but I just don't know, guys, because that's a matter of opinion. Like, hey, if people like being part of the Communist Party, then that's what they like to do. Who am I to say anything? You know, there are a lot of people who are not Chinese, who are, like, or no, like, Americans, I think, or, like, at least British people, like, European people, who actually want to be communist. Now, communism, appeals more to, you know, the people who want those equal rights, because, okay, well, if you guys know what communism is, this is basically everybody makes the same pay rate as the next. So, like, a super poor person can make the same amount of money as, like, the richest person ever. That doesn't make sense. Like, somebody who's like a market seller, I don't know, somebody who sells, like, stuff at a market can make the same as, like, a lawyer or a doctor. That's what I understand communism to be. Well, that's what I learned in school. I haven't researched into communism, but that's why I feel they appeal to, you know, the less fortunate, or those who aren't lawyers, I guess. Market sellers. But yeah, so I don't know why, like, people of the Democratic Party would want to be communist. I guess because of that, like, so they can make the same as somebody else. But then the rate's just gonna be low. Like, everybody's just gonna make a low amount. I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to other people. Change my mind, guys. You'll see me at a booth, and it'll say, I don't understand why people want to be communist. Change my mind. You know, you gotta change my mind. So, and then help me understand. Help me understand. So then I could, you know, spread the excitement about this. But anyways, we can't blame it on them, guys, like, for, you know, destroying the lovely, temples and Taoism. Come on, Taoism, guys. Taoism Lao Tzu, he's a Chinese philosopher. Taoism was birthed in China. That, you know, it's so... You just wish, you know, you just wish you can go back to, you know, those ancient Chinese times. Travel in the mountains. There's, like, mountain travelers. This is what I dream of, okay? I don't really care about, you know, it could be Japan, it could be any place. Any place, and, like, just naming, like, Asian countries. You know, those ancient Chinese arts that you see the sages walking in the mountains. What a dream, what a dream. But anyways, maybe we'll revert back to that one day. Or China will revert back to that one day. Maybe the Communist Party will fall and they'll rebuild the temples and spirituality will be reborn and, you know. We can only hope. But, I mean, who am I to hope for that? Like, I'm not freaking Chinese. I don't live in China. Like, what if nobody in China wants that? Like, then, you know what? Do what you want. Like, who am I to... Anyways, enough about that. This is like my little mini rant or craving for ancient China to be reborn. So anyways, we will end this episode, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs, where we talk about, well, look what we just talked about this whole episode. Did you like this episode? Let me know. Share it with your friends, guys. Come on, people who need to know about Buddhism the right way. No, I'm joking. There is no right way. There is a middle way. No. That was a Buddhist joke, guys. Come on! Okay. Anyways. Yeah, share with your peoples. If I said anything that was misinforming, please let me know. My Instagram is @Natalia of Earth. Natalia of Earth, this planet Earth. And you can now follow me on Twitter, too, because I got locked out and banned from Twitter for, like, a full week. Because I put my birthday by accident. And I've had Twitter since I was, like, 10. 9 or 10. No, probably 10 or 11. And you're supposed to be 13, at least 13 to create a Twitter. And I mistakenly put the year I was born. And then I got locked out of my Twitter. And they were gonna keep it locked forever. So I had to submit my ID, and then they deleted everything that I ever did before I turned 13, or while I was 13, or whatever. And then they gave me back my Twitter. So I'm back on Twitter, guys. It's also Natalia of Earth. If you want, I'm a writer. You can check out my blog. It's thewritingsofnatalia.wordpress.com. And then, yeah, just freaking listen to the podcast, guys. Share information with me. Talk to me. What do you want to talk about? Oh wow, look, I found our self-care list, and I found my little intro paper. Wow, how great. Well, to close off this episode, I usually close with the Tao Te Ching, which is Chinese, you know, but I got this Buddhism day by day that my friend gave me, and, you know, I was gonna start every episode with this starting New Year's, or I was gonna do, like, a different podcast where I did, like, a different page of this book, because it goes by each day of the year. And then I started reading it, and I was like, should I do this? And some of the stuff I just don't like in it, so I'm like, I'm not gonna share this with people. But, you know, just, it is what it is, guys. So, I went to today's date in this book. This is called Buddhism Day by Day, Wisdom for Modern Life by Daisaku Ikeda. My friend gave this to me, the one who is Nichiren Buddhist. And this is, I think this guy is this guy is Nichiren. Like, this is a Nichiren Buddhism book. So anyways, I'll read to you what it says for February 12th. It says, you may have fundamental questions about yourself and your identity. Who am I? What should I do with my life? It is quite natural to feel unsure about the best way to proceed. If you haven't yet decided on your future course, I feel the best thing is just to concentrate your energies on what you need to do right now. And gradually, your full potential will emerge. I agree with that. So yeah, that was, you know what, I'll even close it with the Tao, because, you know, Chinese New Year, guys, we gotta do it all. We gotta do it all. Okay. Okay, let's do this. This is verse 25. Again, I'd like to thank you for listening. And let these words seep into the depths of your soul. Something mysteriously formed, born before heaven and earth. In the silence and the void, standing alone and unchanging, ever present and in motion. Perhaps it is the mother of 10,000 things. I do not know its name. Call it Tao. For lack of a better word, I call it great. Being great, it flows. It flows far away. Having gone far, it returns. Therefore, Tao is great. Heaven is great. Earth is great. The king is also great. These are the 4 great powers of the universe, and the king is one of them. Man follows the earth. Earth follows heaven. Heaven follows the Tao. Tao follows what is natural. Namaste.